Do something, man. People are questioning you.
Shut up. Shut up. Okay, yep, do that. Sure, guys. Stupid and dumb. Just an idiot. Get your shit together, son. Fuck it. I loved it. Welcome to the Dub Cast.
All right, welcome back to another UFC picks and predictions. This time we're talking about UFC 323 starting just tomorrow, in just about 24 hours filming this podcast. So we're hyped. Welcome back, Shane. How have you been?
I've been great, man. I mean, I'll keep it brief, but last one we were talking about, I went to 322. I got this sweet little shirt from there.
Nice.
It was a great card. I'm sure we'll go over it briefly, but yeah, I've been great.
Sounds good. Let's dive right in. So UFC 322, we won't do our usual rundown just because we're on a little bit of a time constraint with the event being tomorrow. So where do you want to start? Do you want to go from the least important fights to the most important fights? Do you want to start that main event?
At least I think we can get through it pretty quickly. I mean, you had an amazing, and remember, I was talking about this the whole time leading up to it. We needed something huge from Bo Nickel. Something huge from Bo Nickel, and we finally got it. It is a long time coming, and it was ecstatic. Again, me, my friends are huge wrestling fans, so they were big Islam and big Bo Nickel guys, and it was really cool to see him finally get like a huge win. It was awesome. And then to go on, furthermore, the fights, all of the main card was amazing. The last two fights were a little lackluster, some way say. I thought that they were still both fine. I mean, I had to go through heartbreak myself with Zhang Weili losing, but it's what makes the sport make you feel that way that makes it that empowering. It's why I love the sport.
You have to go through the low lows.
You have to go through the low lows, and that's what makes it a sport worth watching.
I mean, we can touch on them a little bit individually. So how about, first of all, Ethan Ewing, who we didn't even talk about. I don't think he was supposed to.
He wasn't announced yet.
Card. Yeah.
He wasn't announced till I was driving to New York. That was insane.
Big W. He's got the when Luke might hit that game-winning shot, throwing back to class. He went back to his construction job. I'm sure you saw that clip, but
yeah, I did.
Yeah, pretty huge win there. Was the crowd buzzing for him, or was everyone kind of rooting for Wellmaker?
I mean, everyone was rooting for Wellmaker. Don't get it twisted, but that's something that you could be low-key the biggest Wellmaker fan of all time, and I don't think that still lights a fire under your ass. That was awesome. Him, anyone coming in on that short of notice, making their UFC debut against a kid who's been very good. He looks very good, Wellmaker, and he didn't look utterly terrible in that fight. But Ewing looked better. It was awesome to see, honestly. And yeah, I don't think there was too many huge Wellmaker fans, and I think the ones that were there would still give respect to Ewing and how amazing that was.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what's next for him. But the main card, you kind of touched on the Bo Nickel already, but Benoit
win was insane, dude. There was 2 or 3 knockouts from this card that made that from when you're watching. When I was watching from the stands, I was like, how the hell did he get knocked out from that? The Benil knockout, and then low-key the Praches knockout against Leon Edwards. I was like, how did he go out? It just kind of they just hit the button perfectly. They hit the button perfectly numerous times that night. There was some spectacular finishes, and it was awesome. It was awesome.
Yep. Prates, first one to knock out Leon Edwards. That was a crazy one. I said before I didn't have a pick on that one because I knew my heart of hearts that might have happened. That was insane to see, especially after Leon had a good first round. And then Michael Morales, same thing over Sean Brady.
Huge.
Big upset there.
Huge for him, bro. Michael Morales, poor Sean Brady, first off.
I know.
Sean Brady is going to get put into the depths of hell after that. I think the only real fight he can make that would keep him sort of in the conversation is calling out Bilal and having a rematch with Bilal and trying to get that win back. because I think Bilal would take that fight. And I like that's like the only thing that I could see him doing to like get back up in there. I mean, obviously there's other avenues he could go with, but that's the one that I kind of see that would work the best for him. But yeah, Michael Morales was awesome, and I didn't know this going there, but there was like some sort of World Cup qualifier or something, and Ecuador was playing in it in New York during that weekend. So there was a lot of Ecuadorians there just in support of Michael Morales, which was super cool.
Yeah, I think I watched the press conference and he was getting a lot of support from the crowd there.
Yeah, it was talk of the town all over the arena, but yeah, people were just talking so much about his about how it just happened to be perfect timing. Me and Joey actually, I forgot that this happened until just now. We're walking out of the stadium and we see a guy interviewing people, and me and Joey, we've had a couple beers and we're just kind of like, "Hey man, you want you need an interview?" And then the guy's like, "I mean, I guess." And so we get interviewed by this guy, and he's like, I'm Ecuadorian. I'm here for Michael Morales." And then he was only interviewing people in Spanish before he interviewed us. And yeah, it was just huge. I think it was one of those things that was just huge for that country.
So are you on an Ecuadorian website somewhere?
I don't know. I would hope so. Maybe not. I mean, last time we were there, our buddy who went with us, not me or Joey, but our other buddy Matt was in Ali Mack. I don't know if you know who Ali Mack, the like Australian girl who's always doing UFC stuff.
I don't think I know her.
You might. I think you'd know her if you saw her, but he was on one of her reels because she was doing interviews. Yeah.
That's dope. So we won't go over. I mean, Qatar happened, but you have to give a title shot to either Ian Machado, Gary, Michael Morales, or Carlos Prates. Who do you think deserves it and why?
Who do I think deserves it? I think. Oh my God, it is so tough. I mean, first off, I did not see the Ian Gary fight. I was at work and I wasn't able to see that. But from what I heard, it was a lot of foot stomps and like he wasn't like doing from what I've heard from memes is that it wasn't the cleanest of fights from Ian Gary.
Bilal did look kind of good in that fight. It was a close back and forth.
Damn, I really wish I saw that because I would have a better input on this. I only have to go off of Morales and Prates, and they had such similar kind of wins that like it's very tough. Me personally, I'd give it to the guy who beat the ex-champion, and I would give it to Prates. But I would not be mad to see Michael Morales get a shot. I would not be mad about that.
Michael Morales versus Islam would be crazy just because it's like so stylistically different.
I mean, that's what we said about JDM, though.
Yeah, that's true. It'll probably just be Islam, but we can dream that it'll be something different. Will happen.
Exactly true.
All right, so I mean, the two main events, not the most boring. I mean, not the most exciting fights. I wouldn't say they were boring. Domination out of Valentina Islam. Obviously, this has big ramifications for one of your favorites, Zhang Weili. I said to you, I think that night, I think she can just go back to her division and fuck up Mackenzie Dern and get that title.
She's got to go back down to strawweight.
Yeah.
I completely. I mean, I was saying this, and we were talking about this also with Merab in one of the past episodes about Merab moving up. And went back before Zhang Weili announced she was moving up, Weili moving up as well. And both of them, I don't like their frames for the weight classes above them. I think they're perfect frames for where they're at. They are debatably goats at their division, both of them. And Weili, and not to say that Merab shouldn't go up and try and beat Volkanovski, because it absolutely could happen. And I would be here for it. Like, I would still be here repping Merab. If you lost, it would suck. If you won, it would be the greatest night of my life. Yeah, I was so hyped going into this fight, man. Like, I was wearing a Weili shirt. I was around a bunch of people who were like, "Yeah, I really love Valentina, but Weili's got a chance, man. I respect that pick." And like, that was a tough watch, man. I watched like the whole thing like this, just looking through my hands. It was rough.
That was definitely a rough one. Yeah, it just felt like it was so weird because you had Zhang Weili move up a weight class and she looked like she was not able to handle that, and then you had Islam move up a weight class and just completely steamrolled JDM. So that was interesting to see that there. But
that's a very good point.
Any like big takeaways from the Islam fight over Jack? Just
the Islam fight over Jack was genuinely just dominance. It was something that it was a very weird atmosphere in the building when that was happening because everyone was like hyped, but people weren't like it wasn't, the place wasn't going crazy. Like everyone, like there's a guy around us that there was a bunch of guys around us that were kind of saying the same thing, like, hey guys, because every time that a boo started to happen in that crowd, both with the Valentina fight and with the Islam fight, like our whole section was like, hey, shut up. Like this is legacy right here. This is history. Like this is a huge fight for both. Like both of those fights are huge, and there's no reason to be booing these. Like they're not just sitting on them. They are making advancements with their grappling. Like they're not just Jailton Almeida. Like they're not just doing that shit.
Well, even like, comparing Islam versus Khamzat, two of my favorite fighters, DDP and JDM losing. Like Islam was doing a lot more. At least he was trying to pull stuff, trying to get submissions, throwing punches. Khamzat was like almost basically just like Khamzat was doing some stuff too, but I thought Islam was much more active. So it made for a slightly more entertaining fight, in my opinion.
Absolutely, and the fact that like the stats that came out of it afterwards, like JDM stats afterwards and Islam stats, like insane. I know that it was very similar with the Khamzat where like almost 0 punches thrown. But like the fact that you are in a fist fight, a professional fist fight for a championship belt, and you can make it so a person can't even throw a punch at you is insane dominance. Like insane.
Islam deserves the flowers. He hasn't lost in over 10 years, and neither had JDM. And he moved up weight class.
It was a combined 19 years. It was a combined 19 years win streak.
So your Mount Rushmore, is Islam, where is he on it? If you can get to the legacy debates, I don't know if you does.
See, legacy debates I do hate because I missed a whole ton of eras. I don't like doing it with NFL. I don't like doing it with NBA too. Because I missed so many of the eras.
It's kind of unfair because you're always gonna have that present day bias.
But if everyone listening could understand that it's my bias and like the fact that I'm only judging what I've seen and what was pretty much adjacent to what I've seen, like I guess I'd seen them too. But like I think low key, and I know a lot of people look at me crazy, especially the old OG heads like my boy Joe. I low key think Islam surpassed Khabib with that. And I think with his next fight, he would definitely be surpassing Khabib, which means it would leave the big four. It would be John Jones, GSP. In my opinion, Demetrius Johnson. Yeah, sorry. And then Islam. However, I know I'm leaving off Anderson Silva. I know I'm leaving off obviously Khabib, and I'm missing out on some people, but I don't know. I also, a lot of these people are English speaking, like they speak English, so I kind of follow them more. Like Anderson Silva, I don't follow him on social media. I don't see what he's up to that much. And I know that probably shouldn't go into a debate, but it's just something that makes it easier for me to digest.
No, that's for sure. I don't know. I was just asking you because I have no idea. I think it's funny because like I actually, after every fight card, I do tune into the Air El Hawani just as I'm driving. I usually have like a friggin' 45 or 50-minute drive home from DNB, so I'm like, might as well hear what people are saying, and then they always into like the legacy debates and whatever. So that's interesting to listen to. I don't even think I have a qualified opinion at all. So
DC has a good one too that he posts pretty quickly after the fights. If you ever.
DC I've heard him on. He's on with Colin Coward's Network or whatever. I have listened.
Yeah, I think he does it on his own YouTube and podcast, like his own separate thing.
I'll have to check that out too.
It's very good.
All right, so was UFC 322 overall a very successful, fun time? Despite the fave losing.
And again, like that's my fave losing. The fact that it made me as sad. Like I wish we could have got Joe on this podcast because he would be able to vouch. Like I didn't know. I almost didn't want to talk the whole night afterwards. Like I was so sad, but I still enjoyed the Islam fight, and I still could enjoy the parts of the Valentina fight. But holy cow, did I just want to die? That was so. I was so sad even the drive home in the morning, I wasn't talking too much. Part of that was, we were hungover and stuff, but part of that was like, oh my God, what could have been, which is always a terrible way to think. But, it's, I definitely loved 322 more than 309 in terms of just the fights. Absolutely head over heels. Like, it was insane. Like,
this was a great
card.
Cheaper. This is a very good card.
It's also cheaper and everything. So all that combined easily surpasses 309.
I
wish we had our boy Matt with us.
322 is one of the top events of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's 320 was crazy. But then again, I always remember 320 as top heavy. Or I remember the top heavy parts of 320 because that Yuri comeback, the Merab win, and the Ferreira winning his belt back, and then the night after the Patriots beating the Bills, that was a crazy weekend.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
It's top tier. I think that one and Miami were these are the top three. Miami was good.
Miami was good.
All right, let's get into what the people are here for. 324. So we're back in Las Vegas, Nevada for this one, and we'll get to another one of your favorites later on, headlining this event. I do have some questions about that, but before we do, we start off, as always, with early prelims. We have a featherweight fight between Mohamed Naimov, and he faces off against Mairon Santos. I believe Mairon Santos is a former UFC or Ultimate Fighter winner, and we actually talked about him in the UFC 313 video together, where he got a split decision win, very controversial split decision win over Francis Marshall. Since then, got a win over Sadiq Youssef in May, which I think is a pretty impressive win. So, right off the bat, first fight, what do you think here?
This is very interesting because we never do it on Fridays. Myron Santos missed weight. He missed weight.
Oh, I didn't even bother to check that.
So,
how much did he miss by?
If I did not, I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was he was given the chance to keep on cutting and he decided not to. And so I don't know if these odds have changed at all since that, but he missed weight today. So that's going to be very interesting to see. I don't remember him being someone who missed weight in his previous fights. Pretty sure he was pretty good with that stuff. So you never know what that could be. He also doesn't seem super big for the featherweight weight class. So I don't know. I would definitely be interested to sprinkle some money on Naimov, but again, it's the first fight of the card, so I don't love it.
Yeah, I'm looking now. So he missed by 1.5 pounds, which is interesting. And then we also had Bruno Ferreira
and Cejudo, I believe, too.
Oh, Cejudo missed too.
And I believe Cejudo, and then, or he might have made it. No, he made it. He made weight, but he looked crazy. He looked really bad.
Oh, all right. Well, this is This is kind of the same thing with NFL, where sometimes we do Thursday nights and things change, where we do versus Wednesday. So this is interesting to do it post weigh-in. I was going to go with Naimov moneyline, like you said. Like, I wasn't my favorite pick. And I don't usually like to bet the first fight of the night. It's just like I feel like that watching that fight where Mairon Santos versus Marshall, like that wasn't great. And then I think Naimov, he's fought some good names in the UFC, like Jamie Millarkin, Daniel Wood, Bogdan Grad. He did lose to Felipe Lima, which I think Felipe Lima is like a decent fighter. So yeah, I don't know. I think we'll have to talk more, see if there's more potential out there. But I think Naimov could be a decent underdog in this one.
I think so too. Yeah, no, I think he'd definitely be a fun one to like build a prelim parlay around. A nice little prelim parlay. Give you a
well, maybe not, because if he loses, it's the first one and you're already cooked.
Well, that's why it's your prelim parlay. You don't put any of the main card in it. It's just your prelims, or maybe even just early prelims if you want to be really safe. And just
early prelims are kind of stacked this time around. To be honest, there's some names.
It's pretty good. It's a good card.
Yeah. All right, so we'll move on to one that maybe will not be in a lot of people's parlays. We got Mansur Abdul-Malik. That's 1450 facing off against Antonio or Anthony Trocoli at plus 750 middleweight. So I've learned my lesson. I'm staying away from these, but sometimes we like to say, let's throw a buck or two on the guy who's plus 600 or plus 750. Are you seeing it here with Antonio?
To be honest, no, but I didn't see it with Ewing. I didn't see it with I didn't see it with who was the guy who beat Talbot, but
Barcelos,
yeah, Barcelos. You know what I mean? Like, I sometimes I hate the UFC lines. Like the UFC sports betting lines are sometimes just they really want to get you, man. Like they really want to get you. I don't. This is one I'm not touching at all. Same with the Wellmaker one. Same with the Talbot. I don't. Or maybe I did touch the Talbot one actually way back. I think I did, and regretted it. So keep me away.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even like there's value with Trocoli, where he was in the UFC in 2019, Dana White Contender Series, fought to a no contest on the Dana White Contender Series, and then took some fights elsewhere. Came back in 2024 and then gets knocked out by Shara and gets submitted by Trayshawn Gore. So it's like, I don't know. That's probably where these odds are coming from, and this kind of reminds me of Rafael Sequeira. I forget who he fought last card, but he was just like a super big underdog.
Yeah.
And then just got like beat right away, basically. I think it was one of Islam's friends or Kamzat's friends, I forget. But
yeah,
I'm not seeing it here. I'll pull it up.
Yeah. I know you. I think I know what you're talking about. Again, this is like the UFC lines are just. These are when it's messed up. Like this is when you know to just stay away. It's like, yeah, I don't like touching these at all. But I should say I don't like putting these in a parlay. If you're really feeling Trocoli, or if you saw some news about him that like really interests you or that takes you away from Mansur, absolutely sprinkle a couple bucks on the one-legger. Not me, not this time. I don't have any inside knowledge about or any knowledge in general about Trocoli or Mansur, so we'll see.
Yeah, we had Abdul-Rahman Yakiev.
That's what it was.
Rafael Sequeira. I'm looking at the numbers now. Rafael Sequeira 0 for 1 on total strikes, and Yakiev 11 for 16.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this may be fun to watch because usually when they have these big odds, they're kind of expecting like a knockout to happen or something. So this could be a fun one to throw on early prelims tomorrow.
Yeah, or even this might have a pretty good value with rounds, under rounds or over rounds, depending on what it is. If it's 1.5 is the line, I think over is pretty decent, and if it's 2.5, I think under is pretty decent.
Yeah.
If you want something a little bit safer.
I was going to say, if there's prop bets out there, I wasn't seeing anything personally, but there's probably some people who can capitalize on that.
Definitely.
Next one, we have the light heavyweight division. It's Iwo Baraniewski versus Ibo Aslan. Two gentlemen with names starting with I, ending with O, 3 letters. So Ibo Aslan, he got into the UFC 309 about a year ago. He got that first round KO, ironically enough, over Rafael Sequeira. I didn't mean to bring that up, but since then he got submitted by Ion Kutalaba and lost a decision to Billy Elikana. And then Ivo is one of these Dana White Contender Series guys getting his first real shot within the UFC. Obviously, somewhat of a decent favorite here. Anything you got on this one?
Not particularly. Again, this is one I feel like I remember some stuff about Ibo Aslan. I don't. This is one that I needed to probably research a little bit beforehand because I feel like this definitely has some value to it. I feel like Ibo Aslan is a pretty decently valued underdog. Like I think he could be someone worth putting some bucks on. But as of right now, with the knowledge I have off the top of my head, again, I wouldn't touch this one. I have a very conservative parlay this week, for this card, and it's very small. You know me; I usually like to go big, but it's very small this week.
Only a couple picks. All right. Well, I'm going with Iwo because I don't know. I don't think looking at Aslan's recent fights, I think Ibo is not great. The being knocked out in the first round. I do think this is one to go under the 1.5, which does DraftKings minus 195 to go under 1.5. So maybe some back-to-back interesting fights here with the minus 1450, and then this one like 2 knockouts to start off the early prelims after the Mairon Santos. But
Iwo did beat it. I don't know if you saw it. The guy that Iwo beat in the Contender Series is Muhammad Ali.
Oh,
it's spelled way different, but his name is Muhammad Ali.
How can you not take a guy who beat Muhammad Ali? Come on now.
That is
so
crazy.
I think that's a good number, minus 192. Like, we'll see if I can cook up a prelim parlay or something, throw him in there, and if he loses, it's not the end of the world. After that, Ibo Aslan had a good first performance, but there is these kind of like whispers out there that your first performance in the UFC, you can kind of get away with being on some stuff, and then it kind of settles down as you get into the testing region. So we'll see if that's the case with Ibo Aslan. I'm not throwing accusations out there, but maybe we learn a little bit more about fighters after this one, because this is Baraniewski's first fight in the UFC as well, our first official fight. So interesting one there. One that I'm very curious to hear your thoughts about. Another one of the early prelims. Jalin Turner has ended his retirement and is back in the lightweight division fighting against Edson Barboza. So you and I spoke on Edson Barboza, where he fought against Trocoli close. That was actually a very interesting fight, very back and forth, very close. I remember having Trocoli close on some of my parlays, and he did pull out the, I think, 29-28 decision win over Barboza. Didn't look bad, but he is somebody that my friends are calling an unk. So what do you think here? Yeah, unk Barboza versus Jalin Turner, coming off of a retirement where it looks like Ian Machado Gary was the one to inspire him to come back. I was reading a little article, but what do you think?
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Jalin Turner, big favorite in this one, almost minus 400.
Now this is one guy that I did have on the small parlay, and I got him a little bit of a better line at minus 320. But I love this for Jalin Turner. There is do we all remember as fans how confused we were when Jalin Turner got retired? When he just randomly said, "I'm done."
Yep.
In the headspace that this guy must have been in to make that decision, must have been some of the darkest. Like, I wouldn't want to be there. And the fact that he's saying, "You know what? I'm getting out of retirement and I'm going back to fight the best of the best in the UFC." How do you not bet on a guy like that? How do you not bet on a guy that bets on himself like that? He could have just stayed retired. He's probably I don't want to assume his financial state right now, but he's probably not
comfortable,
itching from. He's probably not comfortable, but he's also probably not itching for he probably doesn't need money. I would hope. It is the UFC, so you actually never know. But he's coming in and he's betting on himself against an unk like Barboza, who absolutely can put on a show, and absolutely, if Jalin Turner is going in here with kind of the same mental that he kind of had going into the Ignacio fight, the Bahamundes fight, I think I really love seeing a guy fully come back. This is awesome. And he's young. I really hated the fact that he retired. I was so sad when he did, because he's someone that I like. He has a crazy frame for lightweight. His fights are pretty fun. I love Jalin Turner, man. I really, really hope that he wins, and I am betting on him to win. And if he does lose, sure, it'd be sad. I just hope he doesn't hang up those goddamn gloves after. I hope he's here to stay. I hope he's here to stay, man. I do need to look into that Ian Gary thing, though. I didn't know that Ian Gary was the one that inspired him.
So I have two quick rebuttals on why maybe you should be a little bit more concerned with Jalin Turner.
Okay.
First, so, I have my group of friends. We go to see UFC fights. First one, I've mentioned a couple of times, UFC 300. We went to Dave & Buster's, sat in there for damn near 6 hours. Okay. Yeah. Watching that Moicano fight, it's how can I possibly put money on Jalin Turner? The second thing, lost 4 of his last 5 fights. I mean, he is facing killers. He faced Gamera, he faced Hooker, Moicano, who's on a run, and looks like Bahamondes is going to be either at the bottom of the rankings or near the top 15 of the rankings soon. So this is just such a weird fight to me that I can't, just what I've watched, I can't take Jalin Turner in good faith, but Barboza is just too old. I don't think if this is the fight for him. I have nothing on this one. I'm not touching this fight, but I'm super interested to watch this one. This is kind of like the Leon Prates fight for me, where it's I just want to see what happens. I don't have a bet on it. I don't have a whatever on it. I just want to see what happens.
I completely see where you're coming from, man. I completely see where you're coming from. But again, you said it yourself. His losses are against Renato Moicano, which you may say
Well, just the way he lost that one too, and like Moicano,
the way he
good.
lost that one, he should have won it. Like, let's all be for real here. He should have won that fight if he just actually. And you don't. That's the other thing. You don't think a guy learns from something like that? Like, he's not going to let that happen, or you would hope that he doesn't let that happen again. And yeah, that's exactly kind of my thing. Where like, if there was, like he's just everything that he's pointing, everything is pointing to me betting on him. The fact that he went through all these trials and tribulations, the fact that he retired and is unretiring as such a young guy. I mean, I forget how old he is, but he's a young dude. Like, he's not old by it. He's 30?
Yeah.
Okay.
That isn't that old.
It's not that old for the UFC. Like, he is.
Barboza's 39 for reference.
Yeah. And I think he had so many good fights ahead of him after the Ignacio fight, and I was really sad to see him retire. And this is just, and it's not even someone that I'm like a huge fan of. Like, he's not in like my top 10 fighters, maybe not even in my top 20 fighters, but like, he's someone that I've always rooted for. He's never given me a reason to not root for him. The only like his biggest mistake in his career is that Renato Moicano. Like, imagine what the different universe that we were in if he just finished up with some blows. And he took Moicano's spot. Moicano fought for a title after that. All right, like let's be fucking for real. Like, it was because Armand pulled out, but he fought for a title. And Jalin Turner, I think, was in that not top echelon, but in that kind of mix of the top ranked guys. And I just want to see him get his mojo back. I love seeing fighters who had lost their mojo get their mojo back, and that's just what I want to see here.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be rooting for him. I just don't think that at this point in his career, there's much left to give for him. I don't think this is a great outlook of a fight for him. Okay. I will say, if I'm watching with a certain friend, it will be funny to see if Jalin Turner wins or loses. But we will have to wait and see on that one. Wrapping up the early prelims, more potentially big names. Martin Vettori, 14th ranked in middleweight, comes in as a slight favorite against another guy who we talked about earlier, missed weight, Bruno Ferreira. He was by 3 pounds, I think.
Yeah, 3 pounds. That was the one I remembered. He missed it by 3 pounds, and he looked bad. I don't know if it saw the picture when you looked it up just then. He looked bad. The video of him walking to the scale is crazy.
I don't know. Well, that might be bad because I was going to pick Ferreira. But what do you think about this one? Are you taking Vettori?
I don't hate picking Ferreira still. It's just, this is one that I'm really not touching. Marvin Vettori is such a weird fighter to me. He could stand it. He can hold his own against some of the best in the middleweight division, but like also sometimes he just gets I don't love Marvin Vettori's fights. And maybe that's just me. I like him as a person or whatever. Like, I think he's a funny guy to have in the UFC. But his fights, I hate betting on him. I hate betting against the guy he's fighting. Or I hate betting for the guy that he's fighting. I hate betting against him. But like, yeah, this is one that I'm personally not touching, even though it definitely has a better line for it. Marvin Vettori is just so weird, man. Sometimes he just actually shows up, and it's weird.
Yeah, well, we last saw him against Brendan Allen. It's been a rough skid for Martin Vettori, I think. I think we talked about the stuff going on outside of the octagon that's been affecting him.
Oh my god, I completely forgot about that until just now. Yeah. Oh my god.
So I thought he might need more time because that was, I think, 318 was Poirier versus Holloway. I think that was like August or July. I thought maybe he could use a couple more months off, just kind of maybe reset the body, but he wants to keep going. I'm more on Ferreira's side just because every time I feel like I bet on Ferreira, he wins. And obviously 318, I think he had like a weird replacement fighter. He like jumped in on late notice and fought that kid Jackson McVeigh. I think he's big favorite in that one. But the wins before that, I remember he beat Petrosian and then somebody else at 308. So Bruno Ferreira's on a pretty hot streak right now, and Vettori's not. Vettori's on a pretty cold streak. And I think Martin Vettori can bring Bruno Ferreira to somewhere where he's never been, or none of Bruno Ferreira's fights have ever gone the distance. So that's something I'm looking at. And that's only minus 135, so it's not a huge thing to go the distance. So I think that's something that could certainly happen. I think maybe Vettori comes out strong. I remember him coming out strong against Allen, but I think Bruno Ferreira wins this in a either 29-28 or 30-27 decision win. Could he pull off a submission or a knockout? Unlikely, just due to Vettori never really. Vettori's got an iron chin. No matter what you say about him, he doesn't go down. So I think that's where I'm leading on this one. And if you like Vettori, take him to go points here. But I'm with Ferreira, and you're leaving this one.
I'm not touching this because I did forget about that with Martin Vettori, and that does a lot. And you don't know what it's going to do for a fighter. It can either push them to go further than they've ever gone, or also put them down into a darker depths than they've ever been. And dude,
it's tough.
Fighting more than any other sport is so mental. And again, like I haven't been in like the actual fire of full competition of like fighting and stuff. And that, like, I'm sure that stuff has a big implication on it, whether it's good or bad. Like, I'm sure that has such a big implication on it.
It has to.
Yeah.
It's tough.
It's tough, man. It is so freaking tough.
And if I won't be upset. I mean, I'll be a little bit mad because my bet will lose probably, but I won't be that mad if Vettori wins. Like, he probably needs a couple.
That is a good. Right, you know what? You kind of just sold me on it because that is a good win-win.
Yeah.
You either see Martin Vettori get a feel-good win or Bruno Ferreira make you some money. So that's actually a pretty good idea.
Plus 100, not bad either.
Plus 100 is not bad.
The prelims. So not the early prelims. We're on to the regular prelims, which I think there's more fights on the early prelims than the actual prelims. I think it's 5, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the fights, even though we had some missed weights. All the fights made it to this week, which is, I think I texted you that earlier. That's crazy. That hasn't happened usually. There's a last minute sub in. We got to change the odds, change the predictions, but yeah, shout out. So this one's
the one time we could have done it early and it wouldn't have changed.
I know. So this one's an interesting one in the lightweight division. We have Nazim Sadkyhov. He's at plus 120, slight underdog, facing off against Ziam. So Sadkyhov, he's beat some names. He's beat Terrance McKinney, who's actually fighting after him on this card, Ismail Bonfim, and Nicholas Mata, who we saw at UFC Qatar. And then Ziam's been on a hot streak too. He's beat Malarkey, Jai Herbert, Frivola, Mike Davis. So I see these guys kind of in a similar range. Ziam has lost to Terrance McKinney, so there is a common opponent there. What do you think about this fight? Two guys kind of riding some hot streaks. An interesting fight here to start off the prelims.
Yeah, this is really tough because I'm pretty sure Nazim's Sadkyhov is kind of in that camp with Merab and Aljo. I could be wrong. I think this is the guy that's always on their podcast or on Aljo's podcast. If not, it's someone with a very similar name. But this is again one that I'm not really super interested in touching. If I was to touch it, I'd bet on Sadkyhov. But I don't feel confident enough to just put it on my parlay just because Ferreira is very good. Ziam is like the fights that I've seen him in.
On fight night, yeah, he looked good.
He looked really good. Yeah, I think it was the Cannonier fight, the Cannonier Rodriguez fight night, and the Jamal versus Khalil fight night. Both of them were awesome, and he got the fight of the night and TKO. Or no, fight of the night and performance bonus for his fight against. Or no, this is Sadkyhov. I have them completely mixed up. Yeah, so I guess I'm betting on Sadkyhov.
So I don't love putting the underdogs in the parlay. I like taking them straight up. I'm with Sadkyhov as well. He's only got one loss, and it wasn't even in the UFC. It was his first fight ever, 2018, so he hasn't lost in 7 years. He's just kind of working his way up. Same thing as Ziam. I just think both of them are kind of equal to me, so I'll take the guy who's a little bit better odds here. And I don't know, I was a little bit more impressed by his resume. 8 knockouts. I think this will be a great fight as well. Despite the 8 knockouts, I do think this is one that could go the distance as well. I'm not totally certain on that one. That's not like a lock, but I think this is one that I think this card has a lot of fights that are going to go the distance. That's just my prediction, especially the main card, which we'll get to. But yeah. All right. Next one we have the only women's fight on this card. It is flyweight.
It's a good one too.
Bout.
It's a good one.
We've talked about her, Maycee Barber. I think she's the one who missed the missed that fight night.
She's a seizure as she was supposed to be walking out. Like literally, the camera was, I'm pretty sure, on her, and then on the entrance to the tunnel, and then it cut back to the announcer saying, "Hey, this is weird. It's never happened before. We're not having the main event."
Part of UFC history for sure. So
Literally.
she makes her return to the octagon a couple months later, this time facing off against number 9th ranked Karine Silva. Karine Silva as a slight underdog. So you said this was a good fight. What do you think about what do you think happens here between these two?
I love this fight just because of this is very, very similar to me as the Aaron Blanchfield and Tracy Cortez fight in 322. Like, you have Maycee Barber, who's probably pissed because she has been getting drugged through the dirt. Like, there's very few people who are like, hey, man, she had a seizure. Like, we should probably be, like, kind of maybe a little bit softer on her. It is mostly people being like, how the fuck can you do this? Like, we waited so long for the main event of this fight night, and you pull out last second. Like, and I would think, same as I would think that it would do it for Aaron Blanchfield, even though I'm pretty sure on this show I said I was betting on Tracy Cortez. You would think that it would put such a fire underneath her ass to like this is going to be a crazy fight. Karine Silva is not no slouch though. She is a phenomenal fighter. I really liked her in her come up. I'm trying to remember exactly what fight I'm trying to remember that I saw her. It was the one against Irene De Silva, I believe. No, it was the Ketlin Souza one. That one was she is such a phenomenal fighter at flyweight, and I think I don't want to bet on this one at all. You know me, I love women's MMA. So I am going to be locked in for this one. If I was to give betting advice, I'd bet on. Oh my goodness, this is actually so tough because I'd go with Karine Silva only because of the betting odds, similar to what you were saying with the last fight. Like, this is such a 50-50. This should be a pick'em. But Maycee Barber could come in there with some actual fire underneath her ass, which you'd hope. Like, I really hope. I want to see her get this win. Who I'm rooting for is definitely Maycee Barber. I would love to see her prove the haters wrong. Or, like, just stick it to the haters more so. So, that's my pick.
Yeah, I think this is one where, and even, I don't know, I feel like this is one where no matter who I pick, it's going to go the wrong way. Like, if I pick Karine, then Maycee will win. If I pick Maycee, Karine will win.
So, this is another one you could win-win bet.
We're bringing out the classic distance, minus 225.
This is actually a really good one to do distance on.
It didn't work last time with Blanchfield, but good submission by her. But I think this one,
Silva gets a lot of subs. Oof. This is okay. Never mind. You do you. I'm not. I was gonna tail you.
Submission, but I think we lock in here. Maycee Barber needs to get maybe a little bit. When was her last fight? Before the main event, she probably hasn't fought in a while.
It was before that. It was I just had it up. Wait, why did it pull up like this? It was
March of 2024. So it's been a while for Maycee Barber. Karine Silva, I think we've actually talked about twice because she was in UFC 309 and 319. Well, did you see her in UFC 309? You were at that, right?
I did. Yes, she was again. She lost in that fight.
Okay.
Against Viviana Rougeau. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, okay, I am mistaken. I thought this was the one that was the first. No, this was the one that was in the main card. I remember now. This was the women's fight that made it into the main card. The crowd was not for it. However, it was cool. It was a cool fight. Like I'm pretty sure at the time I did bet on Karine, because before this, again, she is a submission queen. Like I just looked back at her stats, and she is a submission queen. She does get some really good submissions, and yeah, at 309 she did lose though. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, she lost at 309, so it's hard to judge it off that. But yeah, I'm excited to see this.
All right, should be an interesting one in the middle of the prelims. Next one, more lightweight action. It is somebody we were talking about before, Terrance McKinney, and he faces off against Chris Duncan. So this one, Vegas is looking a little bit confused in this one. A lot of close odds in these some of these fights here. So Chris Duncan, the slight favorite here, and he's kind of had a weird career where he's beat Jordan Vucenic. I remember watching that fight. Both dudes were like tatted up, so it was weird to see that fight.
True.
And then he also beat Rebecki, who was on a little bit of a rise, and then lost to Borshev, which is somebody who hasn't been able to get his kind of legs under him in the UFC, and Manuel Torres, who we'll talk about next fight. So what do you think here? Terrance McKinney, obviously a very impressive fighter just because he's never gone the distance, and I think he has some nickname about always doing fast knockouts and stuff.
T-Rex. It's T-Rex,
okay.
But it's WRECKS.
Gotcha.
So
what do you think here? I mean, Terrance McKinney had the common opponent. He was able to destroy Borshev at 317 in that International Fight Week.
I love Terrance. McKinney. He is, I want to say, one of the first 5 fighters I followed on Instagram. If you don't have him followed on Instagram, Terrance McKinney posts bangers. He is very funny. If you want someone who's posting some funny UFC stuff, he posts some funny UFC stuff. That being said, my nickname for him is Chinny McKinney because he gets knocked out a decent amount. I never feel safe betting on him. I do, again, I like him as a fighter, and I usually am rooting for him. That being said, Chris Duncan is the second leg of that 3-leg parlay I was telling you about. Jalin Turner, Chris Duncan.
Okay.
We'll reveal the last one later. But this is Chris Duncan. I think he's gonna lights out destroy McKinney. Would love, again, this is a win-win one for me. I would love to see McKinney win. But I think Chris Duncan's gonna flatline him.
I think this will be the most interesting fight of the prelims, just maybe the most spectacular.
Definitely. Oh yes, it will have the knockout of the prelims for sure.
And I'm not sure where to go on it, so
way.
I'm going to throw either fight to win via submission. So obviously McKinney gets all of his finishes either way, knockout, submission. Same thing with Chris Duncan. They do have a couple submissions on there. 3 of Chris Duncan's last 4 fights have ended submission, either him being submitted or him doing the submitting. So that's plus 120. So I think Vegas is catching on to that as well. But that's my little spare bet for that one. We'll have to see what happens, the fireworks between these two gentlemen. Tomorrow night,
the under on rounds is
under rounds is very. I think I deleted that off my thing. I put that, but then it was minus 335. So I think I'm not gonna bother.
Okay, so that makes sense. Yeah,
they know on that.
It's like Tom Aspinall betting under rounds. Yeah, makes sense.
So even more lightweight action. We have the 13th ranked Grant Dawson facing off against Manuel Torres. We talked about Grant Dawson in UFC 311. He got a win over Diego Ferreira. I don't remember much about that fight. I'm not sure if you remember watching that specific one.
That one specifically, not the most. I do remember watching his Apex fight. I want to say it was the one before that. But I love Grant Dawson. I was really sad when he got... I was kind of sad. Not really sad. I was kind of sad when he got flatlined by Bobby Green when he got his first headline. It was his first ever headline. It was him versus Bobby Green and got flatlined in 33 seconds. But no, the one against, I believe, Rafa Garcia, that fight was very cool to see. He's great on the mic. He's a very funny guy, and he's very good at what he does, which is wrestling and ground and pound. And he's got good standing too, but I really do like Grant Dawson in this fight specifically against Manuel Torres. I don't think Torres is going to be that much of a grappling threat, if I'm remembering correctly. I think he's more of just like a stand and bang kind of guy. But I really like Grant Dawson. He's one of those wrestler guys that I think translates pretty damn well into MMA, where he's not just straight wrestling. It's more of like a ground and pound type of thing. And I like Grant Dawson a lot.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like Grant Dawson. With Manuel Torres, I mean, I haven't seen much of him. He did get a take the KO loss under a Merab card as well in the Sphere, losing to Bahamondes, which was a crazy fight just because Bahamondes looked insane in that fight. But
yeah, that is a good loss to have. Like that. That is definitely someone.
It's not like a demerit or anything, but He did win over Drew Dober, knocked him out in March of this year. So this should be an interesting fight. I'm not sure how I see it happening, but I do think Dawson gets this done. He's faced a higher level of competition. I just rank him a little bit higher than Manuel Torres. This should be like an interesting fight. And I think if you look at Grant Dawson, you look at that one kind of hiccup I called it, the loss to King Green. But I think he's going to be continuing on his way up the rankings of the lightweight division. He's one of the best prospects right now in that division. So I'm not sure how do you think if Grant Dawson's to win this fight and you had to pick one method, how do you think he gets it done?
Ground and pound. Middle of the second round, ground and pound. Probably wears him down the first round. Maybe lets Manuel kind of implement his game a little bit to more secure that takedown in the second round. I don't know what it is. This is kind of feeling a little bit Kayla Harrison-y when I called the round 2. Kayla Harrison. So maybe I'm kind of getting that same kind of heebie-jeebies in my brain. I really do see it, though. I do see a Grant Dawson round 2 finish. TKO KO. So, hey, free money for anyone who wants it. For anyone who wants it, free money.
There you go. All right. So that's it for the prelims. Now onto the main card. Pretty good one here as, we're top loaded with 2 championship fights, and then we got some good contender matches here. So first one in the light heavyweight division, Jan Blachowicz is back, this time facing off against Bogdan Guskov, number 5 versus number 11. You've got a big
I love this fight. I love almost all these freaking main event or main card fights, but this fight, something about this, man, because Jan Blachowicz put some respect on his name, I just feel like this 3-fight skid has been so shitty. Like Carlos Olberg, Alex Pereira, Magomed Ankalaev. That is so fucking shitty. And I really thought he was gonna win in that fight against Pereira when it was his first fight for Pereira light heavyweight. Yeah. And it was pretty decently close. Like it wasn't like a crazy Pereira win like how all of his other wins have been. So I really feel like Jan Blachowicz always gets the short end of the stick, and it would suck to see it again against Bogdan Guskov. And I just don't think it will happen again. This is someone that I don't have on my parlay.
But you got a rooting interest.
Yeah. Like I think low key I might need to craft a new one. All right. I might need to craft a real one because Bogdan has obviously been on a 4-fight win streak versus a 3-fight losing streak with Jan Blachowicz, but you see the level of competition that both these guys have been fighting. I just have to go Jan. You just have to go Jan.
And I did bet on Jan to beat Olberg, so maybe I'm a little biased, but I thought maybe that scorecard could have flipped a little bit where Olberg wasn't doing too much.
That's exactly how I felt with the Pereira fight. I'm pretty sure I bet on Jan Blachowicz too. And yes, that's exactly how I felt with Pereira fight.
I mean, he's fought the who's who. He's basically fought everybody except for Yuri in the light heavyweight division. He
stopped Israel from being
double champ,
from having a big accolade. Yeah, and being double champ. He full on stopped him. People don't talk about it, man.
That was one of my. I think that was like one of the first big UFC nights that was locked in.
That is a crazy one because you hear so much about Izzy, and then that happens. And
well, wasn't Peter Yan on that one as well?
Yes,
that
he was.
Like Jan Nunes and him were all on that. Jan.
I believe so. Who did Jan fight on that?
He fought Aljo with the knee.
Oh my god, it was that card. Yeah. Holy smokes.
So Jan and Jan back together.
Wow.
I'm with you though. I'm going with Jan Blachowicz. I'm a little concerned with how low the odds are. Maybe it's because they think Jan looks maybe a little older, but he's looked good in his last couple of fights.
I think it's just normie or not norm. It's just casuals. Just being like, this guy's on a 3-fight losing streak. This guy's on a 4-fight winning streak. MMA math, guys, come on.
Yeah, I don't know. Bogdan's beat Billy Ekelena and then beat Krylov, who Krylov is kind of fading out of.
Ryan Spann too. Like Ryan Spann is someone who I've always wanted to see do. I don't even want to get started on Ryan Spann, man. I would actually go off for an hour. Let's move on to the next fight.
Right. So we're both with Jan. I will say I'm with Jan. I'm putting him on a parlay, maybe -122. Next one, somebody we talked about. You mentioned looking not great in the weigh-ins. It was Henry Cejudo, former champ, now down to number 10 in the rankings bantamweight, looking at plus 205 against somebody who I have a complicated pass with, Payne Talbott, minus 250. What's your immediate thoughts? A weird fight to when it was announced, kind of just...
You called Henry Cejudo double champ, you said?
I just said he was the former champ.
Oh, former champ.
Yeah.
I was about to say, that's triple C. All right, he is 3 champions. He won the Olympic medal, flyweight and bantamweight. That is crazy. He is someone that, again, my friends who are super into wrestling love Henry Cejudo, love them some Cejudo. Before this whole weight cut fiasco, was very much on board with, let's go for Henry Cejudo, man. Like, he's going to... This is a huge jump for Payne Talbot. Like, I don't feel comfortable at all betting on him. I do feel comfortable betting on Cejudo, regardless of the weight cut miss. But actually, I'm now talking myself out of it because I haven't finished the embedded. I'm not fully caught up. I watched a couple episodes today, and he has pretty vehement. He has pretty much sternly said how this is his retirement fight. This is his last dance.
Yeah.
And also it's his coach's last dance, which is that doesn't happen usually. That doesn't happen usually where coach is retiring after this fight. It's not like Cejudo's his only protege. Like, he has other people that are in the UFC that are under his coaching. And this is his last one that he's walking out to the ring or to the octagon with. And you never know how that's going to go. It really depends on the fighter. And Henry Cejudo is one where I'm not completely convinced that he's going to be solely, let me get this final win. I could totally see Henry Cejudo being a type of guy where he's like, I'm half in, I'm half out. I have a podcast that's doing well. And I don't, fighting that I don't need to fight as much. Like, I'm more of an MMA mind at this point than an MMA athlete.
Yeah.
But then again, I kind of would have said the same thing about Kamaru before Kamaru came back and beat Buckley. So,
is there something different where Kamaru was looking at potentially? I mean, a lot of people are saying he's the next in line for the title shot, where he was fighting for something. So who knows? This is the definite last fight.
Now he is, and yes, it is way different because Kamaru was coming off a loss to Leon Edwards, and I believe that was it, right? The 2 losses to Leon Edwards. I don't think he fought.
He fought Collins up a weight class. And
you're right. We came in last minute. I forgot about that. But he came in 2 weeks ago.
We all know that was
up a weight class.
That wasn't much of a big loss.
But yeah, that's not much of a big loss at all. Whereas Cejudo has had some gross losses, like disgusting. What Merab did to Cejudo in front of Mark Zuckerberg, dude, do we need to remember? Where he lifted him up and said, hey, Mark Zuckerberg, this is the guy who I'm beating up. Boom. Like, Cejudo has had a rough run, but Payne Talbot's not going to do any of that shit to him. Payne Talbot's not going to do that. He's not going to be Merab. He's not going to be, who else beat Cejudo?
Song Yadong with the very weird eye poke situation.
And then also the Aljo fight, when Cejudo came back from a 3-year gap, after retiring with the belt. He did retire with the belt. I forgot that was, after beating Dominic Cruz, and then lost to Aljo, which his strength of competition has been really good. Like, this is very similar to what we're saying with Jan. Like, his strength of competition versus Payton's is really good. Like, he's fought, what is that? 3 champs or 2 champs? 2 champs. Yeah. Like, lost to. I meant I didn't mean fought because he's also he's Dominic Cruz, Aljamain, Merab, Demetrius. Yeah, he has had some really good fights. He is low key. I would love to see a Cejudo win, though. I would love to see a Cejudo win, and I love Payne Talbot. I really like Payne Talbot. Payne Talbot's like he's like a cool guy to have in the UFC. That's very much not your normal UFC fighter.
100%.
So I think it's always good to have parity in the sort of league, for lack of a better term, in the organization, where you have people that completely disagree with other people. And I think that's very cool to have. But yeah, I gotta go Cejudo. Like my heart's telling me Peyton could do something crazy here, but my brain's just telling me Cejudo. I keep on talking myself in circles over this fight. This is another one I could talk for way too long about.
I'm going with Payne Talbot. We gotta we gotta ride the wave.
There you go.
Big downfall in the first one, obviously the Iwo Barcelos, but I think he learned from that because he looked clocked in against Felipe Lima. Looked very good in that decision win. I think he's on his way up, and after I wasn't into the UFC when Henry Cejudo was a big thing. I've only seen really his fight against Song Yadong, and watching him sit in the corner, and I'm not going to say eye pokes aren't serious now that obviously it's been a big part of the sport in the past couple months, especially with Aspinall stuff, but it just looked like to me like he was fine to just be done. And I'm surprised he took this fight. This is a very interesting fight, just from two very different personalities, two kind of bigger personalities within the sport for different reasons. But this being it for Henry, I think maybe it's not going to go as well as you'd hope for him. And I mean, we saw like Anthony Smith and guys like that, like the retirement fights just don't always end well.
Shout out Anthony Smith. I saw him at the fights. When I was grabbing my first beer of the fight card, I turned my head around because the concession lady goes, "Hey, it's good seeing you," because we're sitting right next to the media stage, and Anthony Lionheart Smith's right there, and I go, "Yo, what up, Anthony?" He goes, "Hey." He's probably taking a piss.
Shout out Anthony. We'll get him on the pod someday.
We will. You got to watch your tongue about him though if we're gonna get him on the pod.
Yeah, don't listen to any former episodes, Anthony.
I always stuck up for you, Anthony. I always did. You could go back and check him.
So I don't know. I think Payne Talbot wins this fight. Either way, even if Cejudo wins, I think this one's a lock to go the distance. I don't think either of these guys are going to knock each other out. I don't think we've seen Payne Talbot go out in the UFC.
That's a good
Cejudo has been knocked out once. I think it was by Demetrius Johnson too, if I'm correct. So I think this is going to be one that goes to the judges' scorecards. Could they be more beneficial to Henry Cejudo in his retirement fight? That's certainly possible. But I just think this is going to be a Payne Talbot masterclass where maybe keep it on the feet. That's what he needs to do to keep this momentum going after Felipe Lima. Because I think he was mostly on the feet in that one. Obviously, kind of struggling the grappling against Iwo Barcelos, but we'll see what happens in this one. Last fight before the championship fights, we have flyweight. What maybe is a number one contenders matchup.
Very well could be in this division. Very well could be.
Yeah, depending on who wins the second to last fight of the night. I do love the scheduling. I know there's been a lot to do about the scheduling, and I don't agree with a lot of the scheduling recently of fights, but I love when they do the contenders and the title fight. Like we saw how that worked out in New York. You got to see that live with Moreno and Prades both winning a title shot. So here we go. It's Brandon Moreno. He's been around forever, former champ, fighting off against somebody who is on the rise, Tatsuro Taira. And Tatsuro Taira is the slight favorite. Moreno was plus 120 early in the weekend, dropping down. So it looks like people are putting some money on Brandon Moreno. What do you think happens in this one?
I love this fight. I love this fight so much, man. I don't know if you remember the Taira fight versus Royval, but that was an amazing fight. If that was last year, it was one where I was legitimately thinking fight of the year. I loved that fight. And then at the end, when Royval's like, I love this kid, man. He's going to come train with me. This kid's going to become champ one day. To say after beating him, that is just... I love sportsmanship. I love that type of shit. I go crazy over it. And this is one that he's going to be training against someone who's fought Brandon Moreno before, and he knows how he is. Like he was training with Royval throughout this whole camp. That's who he's been training with most of the time. Royval was in an embedded for his most recent fight. I forgot what it was, but Taira was in that. Or maybe it wasn't. It was someone in that fight camp was embedded, and I saw that Taira was in their sort of thing, their fight camp, and I love to see that. I love to see that because that's how you create the best fighters is by mixing and matching and going into different clubs that you wouldn't go to, like different fighting gyms that you wouldn't go to, and learning. And I love this fight, and I love Taira in it. You can never count out the babyface assassin, though. Moreno is not to be messed around with. I don't think I picked on this fight just because I'm genuinely that excited for it. I would love to see Taira win, though.
I love this one as a little appetizers for the title fights.
Mm.
I got to go with someone I'm partial to, Brandon Moreno. As an underdog, he's been around, he's done it all, he's seen it all. He's faced the who's who in the flyweight. I think for me, it looks like Brandon Royval just kind of waits for somebody to come up and then beats him. I do think it's going to be an interesting matchup, especially if Taira takes it to the ground, where I think Moreno has the advantage on the feet. So I think stylistically, that'll kind of determine how this goes. But I mean, I watched my guy, Steve Urcheg, one of my random favorites, just get completely outboxed by Moreno. And Moreno's done it to everyone I've watched. I mean, I remember watching him win Figueiredo's title fights. Obviously, they ran that up a couple times. But I don't know. I think Moreno wins this fight. I think the disrespect is a little bit on this one, just putting him as an underdog against Taira, who, yes, Taira did lose to Brandon Royval. But besides that, he hasn't really beat the who. He did beat Alex Perez, who's a middle tier contender in flyweight. And I don't want to disrespect him, but I feel like this is lining up for Moreno to win this one, just how I'm seeing it.
I do think it's I don't like the line at all. I don't like the fact that Taira's underdog.
I loved Brandon Moreno at plus 120. I'm kind of mad it came down a lot, but
I completely see what you're saying. It's just the fights that Moreno's had, especially recently, like the Urseg fight, those are just not Taira's style.
I know.
I'm trying to think of the last time that Moreno fought like a guy that's so Taira's funky. He'll get on the ground and put you in some weird. You could put him on the ground, and he'll put you in some weird positions afterwards. Again, that Royval fight with Taira was up there for me for fight of the year. I loved that fight so much. I'm so excited for this one too. This is shaking up to be very similar.
Yeah, I think that'll be an interesting one. And also, I think this one, to go the distance, it is minus 290. But I think this is another one where Moreno hasn't lost. So if you think Taira's going to win, Moreno hasn't lost by a knockout or submission, at least actually never. And then I don't think Taira has been knocked out or submitted either. Obviously has the one decision loss to Royval.
I don't think he has.
Decision there is minus 295, but a nice little piece for a parlay maybe.
Definitely.
All right, so now it's time for the title fights. First one, the aforementioned flyweight division. Feel like every couple of months we're coming on here and talking about Pantoja and Merab. This time they're together once again. So Pantoja, we've been through him with 301, 310, and most recently 317. Just feels like he shows up and just gets it done in any way you want. Beat Kaya Sakura, now beats KKF again. Looked great in that fight, submission. Really, Kai Kara France had no answer for him. And then the man he's going against, obviously we got to give Joshua Van his flowers, which I think Joshua Van's the person I've covered the most, just because since UFC 300 he's fought the most, 306, 310, 316, and 317, where he jumped in on super late notice and made that great fight of the year in a lot of people's minds against Royval and International Fight Week. So he stood up for the company and gets rewarded with a title shot. Got to walk into the octagon same night as the Pantoja versus KKF fight. So what do you think happens here? Do you think this is too soon for Joshua Van, or does the train keep going and he's the one to finally derail Alexandre Pantoja right as he's catching up to some of DJ's accolades?
Let me tell you first, I would love if Joshua Van won. I just don't see it happening, man. Pantoja is a different breed. He's a different breed. It is very similar to Merab at bantamweight. It's just a different breed versus these other guys. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong and Van does it. And if he does, it would be one of the craziest things that happened in the sport. The turn, just the trajectory, it's insane. It's something out of if you ever played the UFC video game, how quick you'd get a title shot. He's just taking every fight. He's doing it. He does not give two shits. He's all in. Joshua Van is all in, and I would love to see that. But Pantoja is just so tactical. He is so technical. He is the epitome of the flyweight division. Everything when it comes to mixed martial arts, Pantoja can pretty much do. That I will never forget. And it happens in all of his fights, it feels like. But when he's just when he's tuckered out, and you think, oh, this is the one guy who's going to finally beat Pantoja, and you can kind of see he's kind of a little bit lazy with his punches, but he's still throwing, and they're still connecting cleanly. Like, and like then he'll just do a combination where he's still like he's kind of like so tiredly throwing together some punches, and then brings it into a takedown that just secures him the round. Like he's a champion. And it would take Joshua Van a knockout. I do not see Joshua Van winning this by decision. I do not see him winning this maybe by submission. I don't remember seeing any submission game from Joshua Van. And against Pantoja, I really don't see that happening.
Pantoja's never been shinned or submitted in
exactly.
his career.
It's why I don't see it happening. But if it does happen, it would be one of the crazier things to ever happen in the sport. I think Joshua Van versus Taira is a really good fight. Afterwards, if Van does lose and if Taira wins or loses, I think that's a really good fight, especially if Taira loses.
Well, the good thing for Van is even if he loses, he's got there's a lot of fresh matches for him in flyweight, so he can
ton of fresh. Well, if he won too, there'd be that'd be for the division.
Yeah.
So many open matches. But yeah, and that's what's huge for Van is he is so young. He's younger than us.
I know, I was gonna say that. He's
really
a year
young.
and 3 days younger than I am.
Yeah, exactly. Like he is super young. And I saw a stat the other day. He's the youngest to make 1,000 significant strikes, and all the other people who had made that accolade in that same sort of age range all became champs at some point. And I could totally see that happening. Not while Pantoja's there, not in this current state that he's in. He is too good, man. He is too freaking good. And in fact, I will say this looks like a very tasty line of -238 for Pantoja. Like, I feel like this is some of the best. That's the best money you'll get betting on Pantoja. Like, until he moves up a weight class.
I think, the great crazy thing about Pantoja is it feels like every fight he's -250. And it's like, when are they going to learn that he just wins these? Like, they don't trust him enough to give him more, which is good for us betting because it's like you can just take him and add him to your parlay.
Absolutely.
So I like Pantoja at those odds as well. So I'm looking at some other things as well. Submission. So obviously he's got 2 submissions in a row. I think it is cliche to say, but Joshua Van's never been to a 4th or 5th round. I think he's going to get a little bit tired. He doesn't really have that knockout power. I think I mentioned that to you on a podcast before where he did knock out,
he has combinations
or somebody, and he's been in wars.
It's a flyweight division.
Yeah.
Not many people have that knockout.
It is tough to say that, someone will knock him out in the flyweight division, but I think as this one wears and tears along, I think Pantoja finds a submission. Now, I have a little calling Grant Dawson in the 2nd round. I'm saying I'm doubling down. Pantoja in the 3rd or 4th round, one of those 2.
I'm feeling 4th too, man. I'm feeling exactly what I just described with Pantoja throwing the laziest punch. Like, not lazy. It feels bad to call him lazy, but he is so tired. He is so tired throwing these punches, but they're connecting so cleanly. Joshua Van gets backed up, and then he goes in for the takedown, and then he just kind of wiggles around and gets a choke or a arm or a lock or something, a leg lock or arm bar or something. I can totally see that happening.
So round 3 is +800. Round 4 is +1100. So it could be a big moneymaker for you there.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, knockout.
Paycheck's going.
Yeah, knockout. I could see for Pantoja, but that I feel like he's not looking for the knockout. He's more looking for the submission. So I think either way, though, you can take the round and he can knock him out or submit him round 3 or 4. I'm taking both those. Hopefully, it's an Oracle type vision like with the Kayla Harrison. I will say, we have to bring it up. We're responsible on this podcast. You did say Merab round 3 last time. So,
yeah,
we'll have to see if there's something else in the books on his next fight. But, yeah, I'm with you. I think Pantoja, there's too much experience. I mean, Joshua Van's young in the game, and he's done a crazy job of moving up. I mean, he's fought almost as much as Merab this year. Maybe the same amount. But I think this is a little too much, a little too fast. I think Pantoja is going to have his way with him. And, we've seen different – like they threw an Asakura against him, who's never been fought in the UFC, and he fought all these guys 2 or 3 times. He's cleaning out this division. I don't see Van being the one to do it.
Me
and
either.
Vegas has given us good odds to keep taking Pantoja.
Van's only chance, I shouldn't say only chance, but the way that I could see Van winning is by Pantoja underestimating him, which I just don't think Pantoja's going to ever do with any fighter that he fights.
Yeah, I mean, it gets brought up every time. Pantoja was driving Uber. Like, he's not taking any of this shit
Yeah.
for granted. He's locked in. So I think Pantoja retains his belt and maybe makes a call out to somebody else. Is it finally time?
That would be cool, man. That would be cool.
Talking about moving weights. But let's talk about this fight first. Bantamweight, your guy, Merab. After watching one of your favorites, take a loss.
I don't think I could do it. I think next card you'd be by yourself. If Merab loses this one, man, to Peter Yan of all and again, people love Peter Yan.
So let me start this off. Let me start this off with a question and a take. So we have Peter Yan plus 320, maybe the biggest odds for Merab as a defending champ. So this year he's fought Umar, he fought Sean again, and he fought Corey Sandhagen. Is Peter Yan the toughest person to defend the belt against? And because I think this is the toughest test for him so far of his fights this year.
Of his fights this year, yeah, because you fought him before. This is more than likely Jan's last chance at a belt, and again, like I could totally see Jan winning, but you're right. The only thing that I would say maybe was a tougher fight was the Umar fight. I think going into that fight was the most nervous I think I ever, well, other than Valentina Zhang Weili and Aljo Sean O'Malley, was the most nervous I was for a fighter I was a fan of, because Umar coming up, like, he got that title shot really early. He's one of the Nurmagomedovs, and he's young. Like, he's really young and had really something to prove there, and it was really scary. But Peter Yan, he fights different from all three of those guys. He really does mix up the strikes and the takedowns and the grappling and all that very well. He is a very good mixed martial artist, similar to how I was describing Pantoja, where like he's a lot more striking though. But Peter Yan has a great striking, and that would be where I would be most scared. Merab's benching before, if I'm not mistaken, and it's I'm really nervous about this. However, we've seen Merab fight Peter Yan before, and it was pretty dang unanimous. It was pretty dang. I don't know if you watched that fight. I'm pretty sure it was slightly before you were getting into the UFC.
I that one.
But it it was very, very good. Like he fought. He went from Peter Yan. He hit 11 takedowns on Peter Yan. 11. And Peter Yan's not no slouch with the takedowns, man. Like, he shucks him off from everyone else. He had double his strikes. Merab did. Merab doubled Peter Yan's strikes because, he was just ground and pounding. Now, again, this is a hungrier Merab versus a Peter Yan who probably maybe was, or not probably, but was maybe underlooking up and coming Merab. This is so tough, especially because you have to think about Peter Yan's history with this whole fight, this whole fighting gym. It's the Sarah Longo fighting gym, and that's Aljo. Aljo really changed the trajectory of Peter Yan's career. And I, as someone who's so chronically online and an MMA fan, see how much people still hold on to that and how big of fans. Peter Yan is one of the bigger fan bases, especially in the bantamweight division. He's probably number 2 or maybe even number 1 over Merab, low key. He has such a big fan base. Maybe O'Malley, probably not anymore. More of a Flash fan. But Peter Yan, I'm so scared of. I'm so scared. I'm so nervous. This is probably a fight that I'm watching like this until I see the first takedown, and then maybe I'll open back up and be fine. But oh my God, I don't really my friends are trying to meet up and watch this one at B-dubs. I don't even want to watch this one in public. I just want to sit home and watch it, and just especially after the Weili one. Dude, I don't want to watch any more fights in public unless I'm there, man. I don't
Well, you should watch now your favorites. Yeah.
Yes, you're right. I mean, but then again, I was at B-Dub's Merab versus O'Malley.
True.
And that was electric, man. That was an electric night. That was awesome. Dude. This one is definitely a to go to distance merchant. Like I feel like this
350, yep.
is definitely one to go to distance. Because I don't see either of these guys quitting and stopping like O'Malley did. Dude, I don't even know what to say about this one. This one I know I should be, as the Merab guy, like I should have more insight on it.
I think it's a tough test.
It is such a tough one, man. Because Peter Yan is so, like, he gets robbed so much in his fights.
Well, I was going to bring that up because he lost to O'Malley. That was, one of the more questionable decisions in the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Lost. I didn't watch the second Aljo fight, but just losing by disqualification obviously sucks. Even though he did.
And then he lost. Yeah, he lost split decision by Aljo. But and again, it's his rose tinted glasses, but I have heard other people kind of say the same take. Aljo did pretty handedly win that fight. Like I think it was the right call. And again, it's hard for me to say because I'm a huge fan of Aljo. That was the first UFC guy that I really was a big fan of. And so it's hard for me to say it, but I have seen the same things echoed from other people as well who aren't huge Aljo fans. That Aljo did he did win that fight.
Yeah.
So it's tough. It is so tough, man. It is so tough. That's the thing about Peter Yan, though, is that he does sometimes leave it up to the judges when he could put him out. Like, and not sometimes, almost all the time. Since Jose Aldo was the last time he got a finish, back in 2020. So think about that. I mean, of course, Merab also is kind of in the similar boat, but he has some finishes more recently, and I think he's more dominant over 5 rounds than Yan is. I think Merab is like he might fuck around and reach 150 takedowns by the end of the night, and I think he's at 111 right now or something like that. Total takedowns. He's at 117.
Okay, I don't know. I think just betting wise, I think I have to bet on Yan.
Do it, man. Because I'm not going to do it, and someone needs to make money if it happens, and I'm not going to do it. I
think this is the toughest test. I mean, Umar, but Umar just beat Corey Sandhagen, and it's like thrust into a title shot. That's why I was so confident with you to take Merab.
But what you have to realize also is like tape is a big thing here, and especially ring time, like octagon time with somebody, is a big thing that people bring into their fight camps. Like there's a lot of knowledge on Peter Yan. There was a lot less knowledge on Umar, which is why I was super scared of him.
Yeah.
And dude, again, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not going to
put like the house on. I'm just saying I think Merab's at almost minus 410. Like there's almost no point. And for me, the odds should be a lot closer than that. Just knowing what I know about both fighters. Plus 320 is crazy for former champ Peter Yan, who's got a bone to pick with someone who beat him. Obviously, the Aljo stuff, like he could come into this super motivated. I think it's going to be a very close matchup. I do think it's going to go the distance as well, which leans into you're leaving it up to the judges, which who knows what fucking, if you're going to get Sal D'Amato high as fuck. I don't know.
I just don't think that. I don't know. I just don't think Peter Yan goes to decision a lot, but I just feel like he doesn't think about the
scorecards, like
the round by round scorecards. I think he thinks about the overall fight a lot more, and like he was beating the smack out of Sean O'Malley, but I think, and that's a bad example, but like more so the Aljo first fight, he's beating the snot out of them, but like not the way that UFC and MMA is judged. It's just, I feel like, I don't know. I also always feel like I'm crazy when I'm talking about Peter Yan because I feel like I'm one of the only people that kind of sees the holes in his game. Well, I still respect him and think that he's one of the greatest bantamweights, low key. Like I think people should definitely give him that kind of praise. Dude, oh my God, man. Again, this is another fight where I've talked to myself in the car driving to work every day, just like, I don't know. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I don't
tough.
know. I'm just going, and I'm going to root for my favorite guy. And if he loses, I'm going to be really sad. And if he wins, I'll be so happy.
Well, if he loses, he should be able to do, like, this has trilogy written all over it.
It should be yes, this should absolutely be a trilogy fight if he loses. But you never know. This is very much a fight to me as a fan of Merab. This is a -110 versus -110, maybe -120 versus -05 or whatever.
Yeah.
But this is totally a pick 'em. Like, this is not the way that the lines are. How the lines are. Like, Merab always has weird lines, man. He always has weird lines. With that, going back to that Umar fight, the O'Malley fights, and of course the Sandhagen fight. I'm pretty sure was also pretty ridiculous.
He was like only like -250 or something.
Yeah, and this is just. I feel like this is just people betting on him to overcompensate because they missed out on so much Merab stuff.
Yeah, I think that's and the casuals. Well, my other last question. Well, first I want to say Peter Yan to win by decision is +550, which I think is crazy.
Wow, that's crazy value. That is
Merab
crazy
to win
value.
by decision is -225. So,
butt value. That should be his regular money line.
My question is, I did see a little TikTok today about from Nina Drama. Obviously, we don't need to spend too much time on that, but she was saying there isn't that much hype around this card. Do you think it's like a holidays thing, end of the year, or is that overblown?
No, absolutely not. I think the casuals maybe, but
The casuals like Merab now.
They do, but and again, I'm talking more so about the card. Like, if you're just talking about the main event, yes, I think obviously no. There's nothing that that I think puts the hype off of this one. I think 322 was huge. I think the card before this was ginormous. It was huge, hard to follow up after. B, I think these are two of the weight, or not. I think these are two of the weight classes, especially in the men's division, that are very historically very hard to sell tickets for. Like, in terms of other title fights, like, these are the two weight classes, the two lowest men's weight classes. They're the hardest to kind of hype up, at least from Dana's eyes, and I feel like from the casuals' point of view. Now, for me, and I think for a lot of big MMA fans, this is the last pay-per-view card you will ever see.
That's true.
I've bought maybe like 3 pay-per-views in my life, and but like, again, like, this is kind of a big historic event where it's, and I can kind of see where she's coming from by saying this. I just don't totally agree with it. I think that the UFC finally, like, before they were very much like hyping up and building cards that would be big for Merab to be on, like the Sphere, like the Kayla Harrison debut, and some other ones that I'm kind of blanking on right now. But like, I think that this is their first time where they're kind of like, let's see how Merab does by himself. Like, we're promoting him obviously because it's a main event, it's a numbered card, but like we're promoting it as the Merab. In the one before, it was Alex Pereira getting his get back against Magomed and Goliath.
Well, the thing is, like, with timelines, there's a lot. Like, Pereira just fought in October. Obviously, Aspinall is not ready. I mean, Islam.
Which is
why
I think people should be hyped. He's
Yeah.
going for the 4th defense in the year, bro. Like, that doesn't happen
That's it.
anymore.
I know, I'm here for it. I'll show up any UFC.
That doesn't happen. Like, but we show up every time. We show up every time. So it's more about the other people, and I think it's always been tough to sell these smaller weights. And I think with this being headlined 2 championship belts by the 2 smallest weight classes, it definitely has something to play in with the casuals. But I think you ask almost any big MMA fans, they love the smaller weight classes more than the heavier weights because they're
well,
just
these are arguably
technical.
with Islam going up, these are the 2 most dominant champions, Pantoja and Merab.
Oh,
I guess
absolutely.
Islam hasn't defended at lightweight that much.
Absolutely. And Pantoja has been talking a lot about. I know we're more talking about Merab now, but Pantoja has been talking about how he wants to take the pound for pound spot from Islam. which very well could happen. Yeah. Again, I can get why people say this. I don't think it has full truth to. I don't think it has the full truth to it. I think there is some crumbs of truth, but I don't think. I would take it with a grain of salt. I think. I don't know, man. I don't know. This is a fight card that I'm already nervous about. I think I'm watching it either way. It's Merab, so it's hard for me to judge how, because I don't have many casual fans friends. So it's like the people that I talk about UFC with watch it every time, or they watch it because I have it on in like the Discord, and because I get to lore dump on them about why Merab's the coolest guy ever. And so now Sean, he's the biggest Merab fan and biggest Whaley fan. Like, he was texting me the whole time, like, this is the saddest thing I've ever watched. And and I was like, dude, welcome to the heartbreak. But he's a Notre Dame fan, so he gets it.
Yeah. All right. Well, a lot on the line tomorrow night. Let's hear one last time that parlay you got, and then I'll try.
But yeah, I don't think I ever said the third leg. Third leg is Merab money line. It's too. Honestly, it should have been. I think honestly a 4-legger would be pretty decent with Jalen Turner.
I think I'm done betting on my favorites. JDM, Leon back in the day.
What I should have learned from Whaley.
Yeah, it's done.
That's what I should have learned from Whaley, but Merab has quite literally never steered me wrong. Knock on wood. But yes, that was my 3. Was Merab, Chris Duncan, Jalen Turner. I think I might low key do the same thing and just throw in a Pantoja just to make it even more spicy. Yeah. I did just now realize I do have a crazy one that I'm just gonna go through really quickly. That is an 8-legger for less than $1 for over $100. I do have Aslan, Ibo Aslan. Terrible bet. Already cooked. Brunno Ferreira, already cooked.
No, I like that.
Henry Cejudo, kind of already cooked. Like, these are and then I have Grant Dawson money line, Jan Blachowicz money line, Taira money line, Merab money line, and then I have under 3.5 rounds for the Pantoja fight, which is a terrible one. I don't
hate that, because I could see him pulling in second or third round. Like,
that's true. That's actually kind of goes with 4th round finish for Pantoja. So actually, I kind of like.
You can just take the 4th round separately, and then you'll make money either way. Well, unless it goes to decision, but
which very well could be. Very well could be. I think at the time I was just more so like, damn, I really want to see Joshua Van win this, and then I just keep on seeing Pantoja stuff, and I'm like, I just don't see it happening. He's the flyweight. I can't say the flyweight GOAT. DJ exists.
It's getting close.
It's getting uncomfortably close. It is getting uncomfortably close.
All right, so for my picks, I didn't really scrap it together, so this will be a little odd. But we have, so from last one, I was 1-4, bringing us to 35 and 55. My goal this Saturday is just to make money. We got some football games on as well. We're gonna make money tomorrow, I believe. It's been a while.
No Patriots though, sadly.
Yeah, no NFL, but college football's on tomorrow.
Oh, true.
We're gonna have some prelims. We're gonna go with Baraniewski money line, Brunno Ferreira money line, and then we'll also take Grant Dawson. So 3 fighters. Take that easy.
That's great.
Main card, we'll go with Jan, Peyton Talbott, and then we'll throw in Pantoja for those 3 guys together. Little underdog, we'll take Moreno and Sadkyhov together. A little odd combination that might not work. And then the last one, we got to go with the Oracle type vision shot. We're going Pantoja, round 4, plus 1,100. Let it fly. Win some big money.
Sounds good, bro. That's actually
there's a little five for you. Varying odds on each of those. I wasn't able to get the.
I like those. That's actually pretty decent. Damn.
So that's it. Here we are. By the time people are watching this, UFC 323 will be less than 24 hours away. Obviously, we missed a lot to get into, but we'll have some time off to kind of get into it because
we need to do a post fights show. Maybe that's what.
Well, I think I was in the, if we ever, started capitalizing on this, we need to do like a recap and then do maybe we should do that like every Monday or every Sunday or something. We should get together for an hour and just talk about what happened. But
because it's
And then
some
these videos
crazy
be left
stuff
on.
happens, and a lot of the stuff we end up saying is so completely like not even wrong, just like doesn't even need to be said anymore. Like,
Yeah.
so
Maybe with the new year, no more pay-per-views. We'll switch up the format. We will have,
True.
I think, a month and a half before the next pay-per-view. So we'll analyze.
Wait, really?
I think it's not till January 24th. The
Oh man, bro.
Patty Justin, no fight nights in between either. Well,
And it's the Patty. Oh,
Yeah.
God, we didn't even get to talk. We definitely got to talk sometime.
We'll speak on that for sure.
Oh,
that is January 24th. No fight nights in between. Next week there's Roy Val versus Cop to end us off on this year. But yeah, we have a lot. I think we have a lot to chat about. So maybe we'll circle back in the new year with some new content ideas. I am trying to change up a couple things in the pod, so maybe we'll bring that offline.
Got to bring in matchups, man. I think the best thing about doing post fights is us picking matchups for after people have won/lost.
Next one up, yeah.
I
like that.
Who they fight next.
All right. Well, it's been a blast. As a fan to fan, this year has been horrible for me as a fan. So I'm hoping you get to continue on with at least some good parts. Merab, title defense.
You got the Valentina win.
Yeah,
you got the Valentina win.
Maybe I should just all in on Valentina and stop caring about some of the other men.
Hey, start loving women's MMA. What can I say?
Well, it's too late because she's gonna retire soon. But
that's true.
Good luck to Merab. This should be a great fight card, so I'm excited to talk about it in the future. And we'll be back for UFC 324 in the new year. Most likely our next video won't be till New Year. So see y'all in 2026. Take our bets, win some money. Oh, and one last thing: Twitch, Instagram. Shane, you're still on there. Anything you want to
Twitch,
plug?
Lil Shizzy. We've been still keeping up with. We're playing old school PlayStation 2 games, man. We've been grinding PlayStation 2 games. Right now we're playing the original God of War, the 2005 God of War. So if that interests you, pop in, say what's up, say you came from the Dubcast.
That's what's up. PS2 still able to stream easy, or is it a little?
It is. So I have three different. I have a capture card that I use for my Switch that I had to get an adapter for the AV, like the 3-colored prong thing to an HDMI. It's a whole process, but it looks great it looks fine on stream.
Love it.
We just
we'll have to check it out
earlier. It was awesome.
All right, check out Lil Shizzy. Check out Shane's Instagram. We'll plug those down below in the comments, and we'll see y'all in 2026 for UFC 324.